What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Now, things went from not that great this weekend to potentially getting a little bit worse. We've got to talk about the J medical situation as it pertains to the players for Juventus going into the PSG match. But not only that, obviously going further into the Serie A, and of course UCL will continue. Not even this Mercado is free from it. Stick with us, we'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconerizonechannel. My name is Justin Silver, and today it is Monday, September 5th, 2022. Of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news you care about each and every day. Today, we have Max Allegri doing his press conference, but not only that, you guys know there was some big news that dropped today pertaining to the players and the staffing of the squad who will be able to play, who will be available. Well, you probably know if you're here clicking on that video. We're going to talk about it. Before we do that, though, do me a favor. Smash that like button. Give me a big thumbs up. Help this channel continue to grow. Help us with the algorithm. Feed the algo gods, if you will. Hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Now, let's just jump into it. What we have today for the Bianconerizonechannel, the news. Well, first up, let's open it with our guy, Max Allegri, in his press conference. Regardless of what you feel about Max Allegri right now, it's vocal out there. Juve Twitter is very vocal. Always vocal, but especially right now about Max Allegri. His comments going into the PSG match. It says, in my opinion, PSG is the #1 favorite team this season. Tomorrow is a good game to play. Juventus will definitely play a great game tomorrow from a technical point of view. First up, okay, the first half of this. I technically on paper, that should be correct. I absolutely agree with that. They look like they appear to be clicking now. Last season, not so good. Not so good with all the investments, Messi, to put him alongside Mbappe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Donnarumma, yada, yada, yada. But right now, PSG do look good. They look like probably the best team in the world, which is great for Juventus to go up against them right now. And probably a difficult... Hopefully, this is one of the more difficult moments for Juve, especially given all the injuries that have gone on and the injuries that continue to pile up. The squad's not ready. The squad's not good to go, and we go into this match. He says tomorrow's a good game to play. Juventus will definitely play a great game tomorrow from a technical point of view. That's optimistic. I don't know what else to say, but that's optimistic from our guy Allegri. I don't know how you're going to tell me and make me feel confident that Juve is going to play a strong, good, technical game tomorrow. Great, he said. Not good, great. We'll see. I will hold my reservations back for now because I've yet to see it this season. We riding off that Sassuolo game from the beginning. Is that what we're going to do? And then last season, of course, I didn't see it a lot. Maybe Monetti will go in, maybe Vlahovic, maybe those guys that you rested during the last match when really they probably should have played a bit more. We'll see. Let's continue on with the second half of this. Then I do have some thoughts I want to give before we get into the real meat of today's video, which is, of course, the injury situation. Max Allegri went on to say that we have to play a team game when we don't have the ball. It will all come down to ball management. We must do our best. I mean, that's fine. That's coach speak. Okay, that's fine. Yes, ball management, possession. Can you dominate some possession and also get some scoring going? That's something I'm worried about. I mean, you know the issues with Juve. I don't need to tell you. Hopefully, we got players out. Hopefully, the players that will be playing, Monetti, Vlahovic, who I mentioned earlier, hopefully those guys get the things going. Hopefully, Paredes looks better. Hopefully, Kostic as well can deliver some balls because you sure as hell know that we need it. We continue on, though, and that is the points topic when it comes to Champions League. He just makes a quick comment saying, tomorrow starts the Champions League, and we need 10 points to go through. Now, this is where I come to the crux of my video, my argument when it comes to this whole line of thinking. And I guess if you look at the Mercado and you judge the Mercado as a whole, and obviously Juve did not spend much money at all. I don't know if they made money overall. I need to look at the exact details. But barely spent anything at all. And I guess one of those reasons is that we're destitute at this point. Juventus is destitute when it comes to Mercado. They're not able to buy players, not able to buy the level of players and caliber that we're hoping for. So we buy the cheaper options. We buy the Paredes. We buy the Kostic. We buy the, whatever, so on and so on and so on. Yes, you got Bremer, but that's only because you sold a player that was much more expensive in Matthias de Ligt. Got Pogba, got Di Maria, freeze, right? I think my issue here is me as a Juventus fan, and I had this feeling from last season, maybe even not the year before, because this was the first downward trajectory that I saw with Pirlo. But last season, I sat here and said, I'll be honest, I'm going to be frank. I know people love the Champions League and want to win the Champions League. Guys, Juventus have not won the Champions League since I was 5 years old. I had a full head of hair. This hair was up here. Full head of hair, spry young lad, a gleam in his eye. This is where we are now. My point when I'm saying this is, to me, I think everything should be back on Serie A. All the targets, all the goals should be on Serie A. But I do understand. The only reason I see maybe Juventus really prioritizing the Champions League as they do, obviously, is money. Is trying to make money from moving on in the rounds and getting a little bit deeper and having that Champions League money line your pockets, which is understandable. But I'm not sure if at the cost of Juventus stuttering again and falling down the ratings when it comes to Serie A, maybe missing top four even. Right now, it looks like Juventus are just going to be fighting for top four. And I understand. I'm being a little bit dramatic. If you go out and you pull the table, yeah, it doesn't look that bad. Juve are what, 2 points behind? I guess it depends how the match today goes. Whenever this video comes out, maybe after the match is over, who knows? We'll see. Because Atalanta have a game in hand. I think it's Atalanta. Yeah, Juventus are just like 2 points back from the top. Not that bad. Thankfully, some teams have stuttered. Problem is, a lot of those teams, Inter and Milan played. A lot of those points that were dropped were against like better competition. Yeah, there's Udinese and Roma. Thankfully for Udinese doing that. But still at the same time, Juventus continued to drop points against competition where, if we're being honest, Juve should have owned both of those matches. Fiorentina, Sampdoria, Juve could be sitting comfortably at the top and then have a little bit of a buffer space, because they're going to need it. There's going to be a point in this season where we take a hit. And I guess that's a good point to go into it, I guess, where we want to get into the injury situation. Because right now, Juve are probably going to take a hit between now and then when those other guys recover. Federico Chiesa, when will he come back? We talk about, personal training and all that, but will he be back in October? Will it be November? Who knows, right? We don't know for certain. And the reason I say that is some of the reporting today. Not about him, but about the other players, okay? Let's get into that, though. Let's move it on, and let's go talk about, first of all, the Di Maria situation. Di Maria played a little bit in that first half on Saturday for Juventus. Did some okay things, didn't shine, but he's also coming back from an injury. Romeo Gresti reports that Di Maria is a bit rushed back on Saturday, and he will not be ready for the PSG game. So he will not be there for PSG against his own old team. Maybe a team that he knows fairly well. Maybe a team that he could have been very useful out there on the pitch, organizing things, calling things out, seeing the tactics that PSG are going with, and helping his teammates. Fortunately, you will not have him. Unfortunately, I do worry about this. We don't have like a timeline of how long the Di Maria situation will be. If he when I say re-injured, but if he, re-aggravated something, and if this is something that's a long-term situation. We don't know that yet. But I am worried, because there it is, when your star players that you got in this Mercado, who's back out again. For at least a game. Probably more, I'd imagine. We'll see. And then we continue on with the injuries, though. And we have the Paul Pogba report today that blasted us, if you will. Romeo Gresti, surgery for Paul Pogba now. Decision taken after the latest tests. I think there's the second half of this. Okay, here we go. Max Allegri talking about the Paul Pogba injury during his presser today, saying, "We'll get Pogba back in January. You have to be realistic. Pogba stopped training this morning and decided to have surgery. I have to calculate that we'll have him back in January. Whether he plays in the World Cup or not is not my problem," which is true. So, if you've been following the channel, if you've been following any of this for any specific amount of time, you would know that Paul Pogba was expected, because he decided to go the easier, smaller surgery route. Not the full big one, the smaller one, that he would be back for Salernitana, which would be, this coming weekend? And now it's all been set back. I imagine sometime during training he realized, hey, this is more serious than I imagined. I am not coming back from what I thought it would. I'm not coming back as strong, and this issue is going to be a problem. And I'm going to need surgery regardless. I don't know what this means for him in his World Cup aspirations. No offense, I do not care. Not a French fan. Obviously, I would care about the World Cup if Italy were in it, then I'd be more worried. And I get players wanting to play and represent their team for the World Cup, so I don't, discredit anybody for that. But at the same time, this is what I've been repeating day in, day out. I'm glad it happened now, I guess, because, it's still going to be a long damn time that he's going to be out for Juventus. You're going to make it through half the year before you see him come back. And will he come back at that point? I've seen estimations out there saying Paul Pogba 60 days. Where does that number come from? Who is throwing that number out there? Is that J Medical? But no offense, J Medical, I ain't trusting your medical expertise right now. We've seen how players do in J Medical, right? And I think where I go with this is my issue is saying 60 days to me is almost unbelievable. Give you a Paul Pogba situation in the injuries and how long some of these other guys go out there. I think it's also probably just a little bit of trying to deliver in a dark moment or in an unfortunate moment, like some positivity to fans. Be like, guys, it's just a couple months. If you look at it on paper, 60 days, 2 months, it's just 2 months and he'll be back. But then, obviously you have Allegri coming back with reality saying it'll be in January, guys. Like he can come back to like practicing, maybe training by himself at that point, but he's not coming back to Juve until January. And a lot of the reason I bring all this up, and I've been critical. I've been very critical when it comes to Juventus in the Mercato this season. I feel pretty validated right now in this moment, and I understand. Yes, I get it. Maybe Juve just are destitute. Maybe Juve have no money. Maybe Juve had no money to get anything really that would make a difference or change the club. I guess that's a weird way of me saying it, but you know what I'm trying to say. Let me throw this up here. Let's use this graphic from the other day. I think we used it for the deadline day. The incoming players in this Mercado. And now you're looking at this, and here's the thing is, yeah, these are estimations on when they're coming back. Paul Pogba and Di Maria, those were your gemstones of this Mercado. Those are everything you were leaning on this team being better is because of Di Maria and Paul Pogba. And right now you got neither. And this is where I worry. Like, I look at it right now and I say, I don't know that either one of those are coming back. Paul Pogba, January. Di Maria, probably coming back. But I still worry about his health. How long does this get stretched out for? And then how many points are going to be dropped in the meantime that they're out recovering? How long till Chiesa joins them? And then you look at the rest of this Mercado. Okay, Chiesa is on there because you have to, because you paid for him. But Chiesa, you don't get to count Chiesa in this Mercado, right? You don't do that. Bremer. So right now I'm looking at Bremer and a bunch of dudes. And I when I say dudes, I don't mean like that's a dude, like that's a strong guy. I mean like dudes as in like it's a bunch of dudes. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It's a little American terminology for you. Bremer, solid, great. That's fine. Again, you don't get points for Bremer because Matthias de Ligt was sold. You got Bremer for much cheaper than Matthias de Ligt is worth. De Ligt wanted out. Good job on getting Bremer, but you didn't boost yourself by any means. I guess you could argue and say that you all currently feel like Bremer's a better player than Matthias de Ligt was, especially there at the end. There were plenty of games that he made mistakes, handballs, whatever. And Bremer's been a brick house. A brick bleep house is what I say. So great on him. That's fantastic. That's good. Defense still has issues. We don't need to get in that right now. You move it on down. Cambiaso is out on loan. Is he a good enough player to be even Juventus quality when he comes back? I don't know. That's yet to be seen. But he's gone anyway. So basically what we're looking at is the second half of the Mercado, something that I thought would be exciting, something that was pushed out there that was, the idea that was pushed out there was, hey, another big player, one other big player in that, and it didn't come to fruition. And I'm not here to, complain and moan about that. But what I am saying is this is what we have to rely on, are these pieces that were brought in the Mercado. And without Di Maria and Pogba, it ain't looking that pretty. You got Kostic, you got Milik, and you got Paredes. Milik, surprisingly, has been the best one, the one that Milik on the channel, I'll give him his props. He scored 2 goals. I guess you could say monetarily, that's paid off for Juve. The player coming in, that's fine. I will say this, though. Those 2 goals, and I'm not trying to downplay. I'm not trying to poo-poo his goals. The one, I give Minetti a ton of credit for that first one, for finding him a spot. He did have to turn around and put that one away. So I give him credit, because Vlahovic has struggled when it comes to playing with the ball away from the goal and trying to figure that one out. But at the same time, you also go to Milik, the second goal, which was, I think, you say it's an assist maybe, but I think it was a shot taken by Kolcic that was bad, and then he was able to tuck that one away. Give him credit. It was good. Good stuff. My problem is after that goal happened, he was fairly anonymous. Like, I think I remember him doing like 2 or 3 things else the rest of the match. And that may not just be on him. That happens a lot to Juventus attackers, if we're being honest. Because our midfield, we have a difficult time creating and taking possession, retaining possession, and getting into that final third once again. But again, I had to put my faith in Juventus' Mercado basically being Kostic, Milik, and Paredes for now. Bremer too. But Bremer's a different level. But of course, I'm looking at the biggest issues Juve have are scoring goals. I don't feel great about this. That's my main point. I don't feel great about this. What do we have to tell me that things are going to get better for Juventus right now? Is Paredes going to live up to being a guy who's going to be a solid regista and actually, spread things around, get things going, get things moving? Being that guy, being a marksman out there. Can he do it? Can Kostic help as well? Or is he going to continue? I'll be honest, Kostic does not look good. I know this is going to be a negative video, and I apologize, guys, but I'm being honest. We're sitting in reality. Right now, sometimes you have to sit in it. And I feel like us as Juventus fans, we are sitting in it right now. What tells me there'd be difference? I guess my main point for this video is I get the money. I get the money issue. And I get why progressing in UCL is important. And obviously, you want to be substantial in a match that you're going up against one of the premier clubs, at least talent-wise, right now in the world. But sometimes you have to put, to me, I think you need to put your faith and you need to put the importance on the actual matches that I think are the most important part, which is Serie A point matches. Fiorentina Saturday was one of them. And I hope Juve can get back in shape and get back to doing that and maybe reprioritize things, especially when Max Allegri just told us on Saturday evening or Saturday night that the PSG match is a throwaway game because they're not going to win it. And that we really should be focusing in on Benfica. So that's where I said the pressure is on for Max Allegri right now. He has to make magic. He has to make lemonade out of lemons, I guess, if you will. Or chicken salad out of chicken bleep. You know what I'm saying. It's up to Max Allegri right now. Earn his job in the future. Earn Juventus the place where they deserve to be. Let's get it going. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you worried about the injury issues that Juve are continuing to have, especially now with Paul Pogba and Di Maria? How do you feel about the Mercado, though, now with their injuries? Do you feel like the proper decisions were made in the Mercado? Let me know if you haven't already. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Sofero on Twitter. You can follow bianconerizone at bianconerizone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to your old lady for me.